So Ms. Simpson, we are here in Hamburg with Stephen Niels Muscher, who's right over there. But you can't see him, but he is over there. Just because you can't see him doesn't mean he doesn't exist.
Just like gravity.
Just like everything. So we're going to talk about the Simpson Protocol because that's what we talk about. Apart from mentoring and going to SDL to check out all the free stuff and all that. A lot of questions you get is, so Simpson Protocol process is, the thing is it's spiritual and I'm really not into spiritual. Answer that, please.
Okay, first thing, we are all spiritual beings, even if we don't believe in it. Because when I'm working with people who do not believe in it, they always answer some of those questions. Now, the process of hypnosis, we're working with a deeper level of hypnosis. If you are going to deal with that, you must deal with the holistic, the whole person. Even if the belief system isn't open to it, they will answer the questions yes or no, and it'll be their answers, not yours.
Okay, before we get too far into that. So the thing we have to remember is, despite what everybody says, scientists agree, there's the conscious mind and then there's all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And possibly the mind is just a field anyway. But a lot of questions are always asked by the conscious, but all of our situations that your clients come with are always never from the conscious mind. They don't have anxiety consciously. They don't have depression consciously. So it's somewhere else, and it's that somewhere else that hypnosis works. So by definition, it's not going to be a conscious deal.
No.
So stop asking the questions with your conscious mind.
Yes, go deep within and bring out subconscious questions. But seriously, so subconsciously, you are, the moment that you give yourself any kind of label, I am an atheist, I am
depressed.
No, I'm talking about religion. I am religious. I am
white.
Whatever it is, you now have a label. You have somehow constricted yourself into this one little label instead of becoming the whole you.
And as Mr. Bruce Lipton says, the big thing about humanity, the mind is coherence.
Yeah.
It will try and always bring about coherence. If you say I am something or other, like for instance the labels of depression, anxiety, etc. I have MS, I have this, I have this. Whether that is true or not true, the rest of your mind will say, well, okay, we have to
match that. We have to be in coherence with that.
So
we have to be congruent. We have to allow this. This is what this person is saying. I am whatever.
So
I am depressed. I am this.
That is why labels are dangerous. Bruce Lipton, again, just to quote somebody important.
You mean just because we've been saying it too forever, it doesn't matter. But if we want you to know, Bruce,
what is more dangerous, the prognosis or the disease?
Prognosis can be much more dangerous.
Yeah, you can fix a disease. You have to change the whole story to fix the prognosis. So that's where somebody comes. In fact, you were just watching a video from Indigo guy.
Oh, Stephen Blake was on. Yes, he has some very good ideas.
This guy's intuitively smart on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So the client came and said, well, you can't fix my pain because the doctor said it's nerve pain and the nerves are damaged, and all he did was accept, and he changed the story. He allowed her to change her story.
Yeah.
And Dan Cleary does that too, just change the story.
Yes.
And what happens in the physical, what happens in the subconscious or higher mind, or the story changes, then you have congruence and the body reacts to that. Oh, I do not mind. Obviously, I do not have nerve damage. And the body heals, because all the body is a healing machine.
So then we go back to some Joe Dispenza and the placebo and all those things. We understand that we are much more diverse as beings than just the conscious. Our conscious is the smallest part of us, and it's our expectation that the smallest part of us should be in control.
So going back to the original question, how we started all this rambling, is SP is spiritual? Well, hopefully it is, because otherwise, and hopefully the hypnosis that you're using is, because otherwise it's not going to work. Otherwise you've got conscious hypnosis, and nothing happens in the conscious that's relevant to the health of the party.
You want it to be holistic, meaning that you want every facet of the human being covered.
So Simpson Protocol then I hear, does really good things for fertility. Students are doing great things here in Germany. It does great for birthing, which I gather birthing is, I've heard, is a medical situation, although I think it's probably spiritual too. It does great for anxiety.
Spiritual experience, I'm sure, for the mother.
And child.
Yeah.
It does great for PTSD. It does great for anxiety, for depression, for test anxiety,
and those are all labels.
But where is that coming from? That's where the hypnosis has to go.
And that's where the conscious comes in and brings in the labels. We then have to broaden that. And in the SP, we say, can we work on the issue? And we also say about working on the issue till we get to the outcome that's desired.
And that will be another little video we're going to rant about.
Yeah, I rant about it. He just tells me, points me in a direction. And then
so Simpson Protocol is then physical, mental,
emotional, and spiritual.
Which is
well-rounded.
Just as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get all these outcomes.
No, and well, the thing is that the outcome, people say, well, I don't believe in this. I'm an atheist, meaning the hypnotist. I'm not talking about the client.
The client couldn't care less.
The client wants an outcome. It doesn't care what you're using. And if you use all 4 facets, then you have a holistic program. And the holistic program can work on issues till it gets the outcome. If you get an outcome very quickly doing something that you're only going at one level, it will stay there. But something may bring it back at a later date.
Part 2, you're exposing video part 2 here.
Oh, okay.
That's just the trailer. There'll be another video. So again, that's a good point to bring up, is the client wants the outcome.
Yes.
They don't really care how you're going to do it. You don't go to a doctor for surgery and then the doctor gives you the entire medical history of how this surgery came about and how all the instruments are made and which companies make them.
And why this one works better than that one.
And I'm not sure if you believe in cutting, but this is what we're going to do. And you just want the outcome and they're just going to give it to you the best to their ability. A client doesn't care what way you do things as long as it gets them a positive outcome, optimum outcome.
The only thing that can hold it back is the hypnotist's beliefs, not being in sync with their beliefs, not being trusting, and not being wholly
committed.
Not committed. It's wholly open to using anything and everything for their client. Because if they're using it according to their own beliefs too, that is also minimizing.
Because if you think EFT doesn't work and EFT would work well with this client at the beginning, then you're hurting the client.
Yeah, you just do whatever it takes to get the client where they need to go.
And so the other thing that you brought up, and Steve Niels Musher, who's still over there that you can't see, but he does still exist just because you can't see him. He's been existing this whole time. It's amazing. Is what was it? What does he say? Oh yes, that SP. One of the most interesting things about SP is never stays in the same place. It's always expanding and moving forward and able to get more and more, reach more and more outcomes.
Which and quite often seems to be more in the spiritual field because we maybe have more openings there because we don't know much.
So the SP goes after the mind, and the mind seems to be
everywhere.
An infinite thing.
It's an infinite.
And the more we explore it, the more we're able to bring back those explorations back to the client and say, oh, now we can work on this, now we can work on that. Always easier. It's always what we find with SP is always easier for the client than we make it the easiest possible for the client to get that outcome. It's not a big elaborate thing.
We did talk yesterday about that 1% that cannot allow hypnosis very well. And for them, maybe surrogate hypnosis might be a very ideal way of working if that's what they wanted to do.
But wait a minute, surrogate hypnosis might be spiritual hypnosis. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Oh, no.
I don't think we should deal with the mind at all. That's the best.
What are we going to, if we only deal with the conscious mind, we definitely won't get anywhere.
Serious problems. Because you've got to think the possibility also that everything that happens in the physical body, the dis-ease, is caused somewhere else. It's caused in the emotional level, or who knows, but somewhere else, because the body will just keep a remarkable healing machine unless there's interference, which is called dis-ease, I find. Anyway, some points to ponder for them.
Are you pondering?
And then you can sign up for the next training as you expand.
We're also talking just about hypnosis in general
Yeah.
for a moment. Let's just talk about hypnosis in general. Do you deal with the conscious mind?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm asking your opinion.
Do I deal with the conscious mind?
If you're doing hypnosis, what are you doing?
If I was to steep so low as to do hypnosis, is that what you're saying? Stoop so low, not steep. No, you're never done with it. Well, you're bypassing the conscious mind, isn't that?
Well, that is the idea. I mean, what is the, Jerry Kine used to say, hypnosis is the bypass of the critical factor of the conscious mind so that you can get to where you need to go.
And that great philosopher, Bob Burns, says that you don't have a conscious problem.
No, and that's really true. When he talks to a client, I love because he's always funny. He says, now, did you bring your manual? And they go, what? Well, this isn't a conscious problem because you would have fixed it long ago if it was a conscious problem. So we've got a subconscious problem. And
or more.
We need to have a manual. So he gets them laughing and stuff, and he moves them past that whole thinking that their conscious has to be totally in charge. The moment, if you have a client where they believe that their conscious has to be totally in charge, they must check everything that's happening, all those things, they actually are detrimental to themselves. And that's what people need to understand is if you allow the conscious to just sit back and observe without too much interference or trying to do it for them, things will happen. Because that other part of your mind, we say, is 90% of you. So how does a 10%, that the 10% can stop the 90%?
That's all ego-driven. So as you say, in fact, if they'll allow themselves to use hypnosis, or self-hypnosis, whatever, the person becomes more powerful because now they're engaging the whole part of the mind. In fact, when we look at in movies and in books about the gurus who do all kinds of things, walk on fire and stop a bullet with their teeth or whatever it is, they don't do that by working harder in the conscious level.
No.
It's always they bring in the rest part of their mind, the other part of the mind, the very powerful parts. So in fact, staying at the conscious level is the weakest, allowing you to be as weak as possible, which is why you get disease. In fact.
And many people like these movies like The Matrix and all that, but they don't really get the point of it.
What's the point?
The point is that if you take the red pill, you'll get a lot more done.
Power. Anyway, points to ponder, and so you are saying that SP is spiritual, but also physical, mental,
it covers everything.
Which is the point.
Which is the whole point.
And the more you work it, the more it's able to cover.
Yes.
Okay, enough for today. Thank you. Talk later.